All right, there's a lot of energy in the sign of Cancer. What's this all about?
There is. The sun is in the sign of Cancer. Mercury, the planet of communication, is in the sign of Cancer. And Mars, the planet of ego-oriented projection, are all in Cancer. It's called a stellium, which adds additional attention to whatever area in your chart it's in, because it indicates that there's going to be a lot of activity that's going to require conscious thought as well as interesting communications to bring about whatever it is you're trying to create. So for Cancers, it's all about them trying to establish their place, their place in relationships, in interpersonal one-to-one relationships, to kind of reestablish it and reestablish their autonomy and their identity, which I think is interesting because the United States is a Cancer, and we are trying really hard to get away from the, oh, we'll give everything away, to, no, it's all about us and us getting what we want and what we need.
Yeah.
And protecting our interests. So the Cancers really projecting their own interests. For Leo, it's a time to just take a step back and collapse in a heap. They have been going in so many different directions. The eclipses are in their sign, so since February they've had just a boatload of things going on, and they put a whole bunch of things in motion, and now it's time kind of to take a step back and see what kind of shakes out, and it's a good time to take a little vacation just to regroup and just to reconnect with themselves, because stuff picks up dramatically when the sun enters their sign in July.
I'll pick it up and get her going.
Yeah, so for Virgo, it's in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And this is a time that Virgos can count on their well-placed female friends to champion them, to help the Virgo achieve what the Virgo wants. This is not a matter of the Virgo going it alone, but it's going to take 2 or 3 or more of their female friends and colleagues to help get the Virgo what it is that they want, that the Virgo's been saying, I want. So now it's going to be time after that to put their money where their mouth is.
Do it.
For Libras, it's in their 10th house of career and public standing. And Libras are trying very, very hard to assert their authority. And they're being thwarted by the people they work with the bosses that they work with the powers that be. So they have to be really careful not to alienate the powers that be, but to give the bosses what they say they want. Yes, which is the easiest thing to do, is just say, yes, boss. And if they do that, it'll pay off for them. For Scorpios, it is in their 10th house of career and public standing, and Scorpios are trying very, very hard to reestablish their authority, and they're not going to get very far with it because the law's on their side, but they're really better off having people want them to be involved rather than trying for them to force themselves down somebody else's throat, kind of a deal. For Sagittarians, it's in their 8th house of other people's money and other people's resources. Sagittarians are finding out Saturn has been in their sign for 3 years, and they just about tapped out all of their existing resources, and now it's time to look to partners' resources and other people's resources rather than trying to create new ones of your own, and to maximize existing ones rather than seeking new ones. And they're going to spend a boatload of money while they're doing it. For Capricorns, it's in their 7th house of partners and frenemies. And Capricorns find out who their friends are and aren't. They have a chance to promote their own agenda, but they have to be really careful to look around and see who's smiling in their face and who is doing that just to get close enough to stab a knife in their back. So it's a challenging time for Capricorns.
Et tu, Brute?
Yeah, precisely. For Aquarians, it's in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibilities. And Aquarians just need to get the job done. They can't worry about the big picture. This is about the nitnoid day-to-day aspects of just doing their job to the best of their ability. And again, they have some sort of health issue that they've really been procrastinating, almost like sticking your head in the sand because you don't want to know. And I'm telling you, Aquarians, it's not as bad as you think. And you need to get onto it. For Pisces, best time of year to be creative. It's a great time to put any kind of new thing in motion. It's a good time for love. It's a good time for creativity. It's a good time with children. It's a good time to go on vacation and just have a really good time. For Aries, it is in their 4th house of home, and they are really getting the urge to redecorate, to remodel, to change things around in their home. And again, I say be really careful and have a plan when you do it, because every wall you paint makes the one next to it look dingy. You don't want to get carried away with that kind of thing. And then for Tauruses, the pace of their life is about to pick up. They've got places to go, people to see, things to do, short distance travel, short duration travel. And so they have to really be careful to make sure that their schedule doesn't overwhelm them, that they don't try and schedule more things in a day than they can possibly do, because they'll find themselves, if they're not organized, going all over, hither, yon, when they could have a better plan to do it sort of in line, kind of thing. Yeah. And then for Geminis, the last sign, it is in their second house of money, and they are fixing to spend a boatload of money on a variety of different things. And they're going to also have to fight to keep the existing money that they have. That's the big challenge. So, and I hope that our president hears that and finds a way to deal with it more effectively. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with the Sun, Mercury, and Mars all in the sign of Cancer.
Sounds good. We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.